have nothing to do with that. Even though the SGEIS laid out a plan for safe drilling, the antis stood firmly for nothing in what was for them an all or nothing scenario. Having seen that the antis were unwilling to discuss the issues in a constructive way, some of us wanted debates where the issues would be aired for the benefit of the public. All sides could air their beliefs in an atmosphere of partisan presentation and rebuttal. The public would hear the pros and cons and not the one-sided infomercials the antis have been presenting. Again, the antis wanted nothing to do with this, in the sure and certain conviction that they were 100% right. So we're here tonight to present the rest of the story, to present the positive aspects of gas drilling, to correct deceptions, errors, and lies. We wish it had been a debate, but in a very real sense, the antis have already made their assertions well known, and it's time for rebuttal. I'd like to start out by making you aware of some of the things you should be aware of when you're listening to the anti-gas drillers talk. The anti-gas drilling elements are like magicians. They want you to watch the right hand, but not see what's going on the left. Here's some examples. Methane and the chemicals used in hydrofracking are often linked. They give you the wrong impression. The chemicals used are liquid and may be toxic. Methane is a gas, not toxic, and not used in hydrofracking. Methane migration into wells is an occasional problem, easily solved. Toxic chemical migration into wells has not happened. I repeat, toxic chemicals migration into wells has not happened. But the antis phrase things, so you believe they're talking about chemicals when they really are talking about methane. Let me give you another example. You may have heard horror stories about radioactivity of materials from the wells. I'm going to read from the 2011 DEC report. Quote, gamma ray logs from deep wells drilled in New York over the past several decades show the Marcellus Shale to be higher in radioactivity than other bedrock formations. That sounds bad. And the antis stop there. But the next sentence says, quote, naturally occurring radioactive material levels in these cuttings are not significant because the levels are similar to those naturally encountered in the surrounding environment. Sounds like bedrock radioactivity is lower than our surrounding radioactivity up here, and even though Marcellus is higher than other bedrocks, it's still just normal for us here on the surface. You don't believe the New York State DEC? Let me add this from the PA Department of Environmental Protection. This is a quote. The DEP today announced results of in-stream water quality monitoring for radioactive material in 7 of the Commonwealth's rivers. All samples showed levels at or below naturally occurring background levels of radioactivity. We deal in facts based on sound science, said DEP Acting Director Michael Carnser. Here are the facts. All samples were at or below background levels of radioactivity. And all samples showed levels below the federal drinking water standard for radium-226 and 228. The anti-gassers love to show you pictures of gas wells during construction, but they never want to show you pictures after construction. We have a bunch of them back there if you want to look at it and do it, what it looks like today. All you ever see from the antis are the derricks. Of course they're ugly. Construction sites are ugly. I went to a PAWS presentation where they showed a dozen pictures of a gas pipeline during construction, but not one of a finished pipeline. Of course a finished pipeline looks like a ski slope, a wilderness trail, a skinny golf course. That's not the impression they want to give. Let me ask you this. If you hired an architect to build you a house, would you say to that architect, I want to sell you a drawing of what that house is going to look like during construction? I don't care what the final product looks like. I just want to see during construction. That's, in effect, what the people are showing when they show you is just the derricks and just the pipelines during construction.